Hey everybody, welcome back to the Burn Boot Camp podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Morgan Kline, and today I'm excited to be joined by one of our guests, Victoria Ciresi, our VP of Culture here at Burn Boot Camp headquarters. Vic, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you
Excited
for
to have
having
you.
me.
This isn't your first podcast appearance. So
Second.
Mm-hmm. So we're excited. We're going to talk about empowerment today and just the evolution of empowerment, what that means to you as the VP of Culture and, for Burn Boot Camp. And I want to hear a little bit about your story and just, how this brand has impacted, how you empower other women. And then now how you and I can, lead that in our organization.
Awesome.
So let's start off with sharing with the listeners a little bit about your journey at Burn Boot Camp.
Okay. So I was a former athlete, and I hear this a lot from some of our members, where when I found Burn, it was that first place that just reconnected me to being an athlete and that team environment and just knowing that you're stronger than you really think you are. And so when I first joined Burn, I had a 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Now they're 13, 11, and 10.
Yeah, that's crazy to
So it's
think about.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey.
So you started as a member back in our OG Huntersville location with Devin and Bees, Ashley Beasley. And then obviously, you were there, you saw it before we were franchising and then we became a franchise. And talk to me a little bit about the journey to go from being a member to being a franchise partner at Burn.
So obviously I fell in love with Burn from a fitness aspect and from a community aspect. My background was human resources, and I just remember thinking, how could I marry my passion of HR with this brand that I absolutely love? And so I remember sending my resume multiple times saying like, hey, do you need anyone in HR? And Devin said, we have like 3 employees, so I don't need any HR. And then the opportunity in 2015 for franchising came open, and I had served in corporate America for about 16 years. And I thought, well, I'm an entrepreneur spirit. Why can't I do this? And so Ashley Beasley and I partnered, and we took that amazing leap of faith and became franchise partners.
Yeah, and so you not only had your own journey and transformation, but then you had this background in, in corporate world. And so then you get to turn and flip it and be an entrepreneur, a franchise partner at Burn Boot Camp. And so how did you use some of that inspiration and just your own empowerment to make sure that when you brought it to Atlanta, that you were empowering, other women, your employees, the culture there? Because obviously as a franchise, the goal is to scale our business. And, when you walk into a Burn, it should feel very consistent, but a lot of it is reliant on the leader, right? That franchise partner. So you and Ashley got to be the leaders of that community. And so just share a little bit about how important it was to you to make sure that energy was felt for everyone that walked into your gyms.
Yeah, great question. So part of what I still carry with me today in my role at headquarters is just being true to the soul of our brand. And we knew that there was a few things. We didn't coin these back then, but now we have them coined. It's that blue carpet experience. It's really building confidence in the members. It's having operationally sound gyms, which is the Burn operating system, and then culture is everything. And then Bees, she was a trainer, so it was that fitness product of making sure that every member was being challenged, they were being seen, poured into to create that community. That was the most important.
Yeah. And so business ownership comes with a lot of rewards, but some challenges as well. So share a little bit with our audience just about what those ups and downs looks like. It's not all sunshine and roses when you own your own business. And you were being a mom at you were in the thick of it. You still had that background in HR. So that wasn't just your sole, focus.
Yeah.
So talk to us about some of the challenges of that.
Yeah, that's great. The biggest was just the travel and being a part of a brand and a community that you believe in so much. You want to be there all the time. And there's that balance of, well, I'm a wife and I'm a mama with some little ones, like 3 little ones. And we were remote. And so every weekend I said, I need to go to Atlanta. Our gyms were in Atlanta. And it was just this call to be in the community. And so it was a constant pull of, I want to know every name. I want to know every story. And at some point you can't, you have to trust that your leadership underneath your leadership is being the hands and the feet. So that was our biggest challenge.
Yeah. So you guys had a successful exit as franchise partners, which we love to see in the organization. And your burn journey was not over yet, right?
It was just starting.
It was just starting. So let's catch us up to kind of now, right? Where you're, like I introduced you, you're the VP of Culture here. Yep. We finally got you in the door. I think part-time is where you started because, we did go from 3 to, 20, whatever it was. How many did we have when you joined? How many employees?
Employees?
Yeah.
We were around 27.
Okay. I was going to say, like, in the 20s, I think is when I finally was like, we need someone. Yeah. We need some help here. Yeah. We can't all do it. So tell us a little bit about how that looked.
So I'm really strong in my faith, and this was definitely a God thing because I do believe I had to be a franchise partner in order to be truly successful in my role. In HR, I've never been in a franchise before. Yeah. And so it literally was so seamless. We had a member approach us that was super interested in taking over our communities. And 30 days later, the HR opportunity finally came open at headquarters. And after kind of exiting ownership, I thought, I'm not going to work. But I'm such a worker. 30 days later, I was like, I'm ready to work. And then you guys approached me. And so part-time HR, I absolutely believe that that's how the journey was supposed to be. And now I can look at it from the lens of the franchise partner, still being a member, but now I'm truly in that HR seat, people strategy, and pouring into our core values as a brand.
Yeah. And obviously I get to see this firsthand working with you. But, when you came on, we didn't have a lot of our values on paper, right? Yeah. Like we had it in our head and our heart, Devin and I, and, the people that were with us, but you've helped really evolve the culture and the community and what it means to grow leaders in our organization, empower leaders in our organization. And so, from your perspective, coming in early on and now seeing where we're at today, you've had a big hand in it, but how have you seen our core values evolve and just how we're able to scale that now from 27 employees to gosh, now we 85. Have 85 here at headquarters. We have over 300 in our HQ gyms. And so you can't do that without some core, intention.
Yeah, I love it. So yes, everything's documented now. It's not just what do we say we do, it's actually what do we do, and then aligning the right people to join our team. Yep. And they're just living and breathing those core values, and it's right people, right seats, and just getting people that really do align to core values in action. Yeah. So it's not just words on paper, people first, pride and results, integrity, authenticity. It's what does that look like in action?
Yeah.
Servant leadership.
That's where I think a lot of companies probably miss the mark because they just put the words in a handbook or they put the words on their website or on a wall. But what we've really worked hard over the last couple of years is to define what that looks like at every level, right? As a leader, as just an individual contributor, as a franchise partner, as an employee of a gym. Like we try to go all the way from the top down to say, what do those behaviors actually look like? That way when people aren't demonstrating those core values, it's not an opinion. It's, hey, I've showed you what it means to kind of live and breathe the culture 100%. Here at Burn Boot Camp. And it's not just a guessing game, which I think people want because then they feel empowered to say, okay, here's how I need to align my actions with the values of the company. And if I'm not aligned, then that's probably a good indication that you're not in the right spot, which like you said, right person, right seats. Yep. So, let's talk about personal growth a little bit because I know you're very big on that. And one of the best things I think Burn can do outside of a great 45-minute workout, where you feel surrounded with intense workout, is it's allowed you to push yourself in other areas of your life. That's what I love. It transcends those four walls. So how has this journey at Burn impacted you as, a woman, a mom, a wife, a friend?
Yeah, I think of the word challenge and being challenged, and someone we attract individuals that have that competitive, just internal, their own hungry competitiveness in them, and that's what I love about Burn is I am growing personally and professionally every day, and it's because I have other leaders around me that are mentoring me and pouring into me, and I'm doing things I've never done before in the gym, at home, here at work, and so it's really we really embody the principle of challenging yourself because it builds your confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I think that we shift that fixed mindset to a growth mindset.
Again,
like you said, it's because you're getting challenged, to do a push-up on your toes or a box jump. And like those little things over time are like, hey, well, what else can I challenge myself in. And then when you surround the community, I think that's the biggest piece. And that's why like also fostering that culture in the workplace, not just your gym, because a lot of the times people feel like maybe they only get that type of environment when they go to the gym, but how can we create those environments everywhere else that we're, that we have impact on? And so that's why I think it's very important for you and I to make sure that we're creating that culture here at Burn Boot Camp, because once it's felt here, it's felt everywhere in our organization. And so it's also challenging the team here, you know, whether you're an employee for a day or an employee for 10 years, we want to be constantly challenging to say, what can't we do? Not what can we do?
And if I could add, so there's this buzzword championship culture, but a champion, like how do we champion each other? We really live it and breathe it, and we champion each other, not just in the gym, but we champion moms. Like I actually didn't plan it, but I'm wearing the bracelet you gave us. It says mama. And it's just seeing each other for who we are and not just our identity in one thing. It's what's our fitness level. It's more than that. It's being a wife, a mom, a sister, a friend, an entrepreneur, all that. So.
And I think that goes back to really like finding alignment in your job and not having things be so separate. And some people, that's some people won't agree with this opinion. You know, I obviously do, because I've integrated my life so much with Burn Boot Camp, but I've also seen a lot of our employees do the same, where they don't have to feel so separate. Like you only get the work version of Morgan. Like, no, I like people to see mom version of me. I like them to see friend version. I like them to see, strong leader, strong woman, that's doing things and breaking some chains. And so, again, that might be an unpopular opinion, because some people like to keep their work life separate from their home life, separate from their friend group. And at Burn, we call ourselves a family, and you either love that or hate it.
So something about Morg is one of our core values is authenticity. This woman lives and breathes authenticity every day. There's times where when you just had Ryan, I remember we've had a meeting when she's pumping, and we've had meetings where no makeup, and I just celebrate that and love that. So thank you.
Yeah, and I think when we can do that, we can empower other women that, you don't need to show up a certain version of yourself. You get to show up how you want to show up. And I think that's a really great thing about our culture, both in the gym and here at headquarters. All right, so let's kind of wrap up here. I want to talk a little bit about just, again, what is building a positive community culture? If someone's listening to this and maybe they're head of HR or head of culture, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're just someone who wants to go into their workplace and bring some love, bring some burn energy, like what would you say the best advice would be?
I love it. So we recently learned about something called NVC, nonviolent communication, and just high level what it is trying for each of us to identify, like, how are we feeling about certain things, and then identifying what needs are not being met. And so I would, to answer your question, it's really seeing people and listening.
Yes, that's
great. It's something that I believe people don't just stop and really ask. I just got chills, because sometimes it's just whether you're at the grocery store or the coffee shop or at work, or don't just walk by, like actually make eye contact and see them and pause when you ask them how they're doing. And that's how culture starts, and it starts at the top and it trickles down, and that's what you and Devin do. And it's what all of your leaders, so hopefully our employees and everybody, franchise partner member that we come in contact with, feels seen.
Yeah. And it does start with listening, because then it empowers people to talk more.
Yeah.
And then share their feelings more. Yeah. And so, I agree that MVC has been huge for me, both personally and professionally. I find myself, I find myself all the time saying, what are my needs? What are my requests? And it's a really great framework. So if you've never heard of MVC, we definitely encourage that. It's called Nonviolent Communication. There's a couple books out there on it. Remind me the name, Marshall.
Dr. Marshall Rosenberg, the late Marshall Rosenberg, and then Dr. Cindy Bigby. And it's all about creating empathy through connection.
Yep.
It's a challenging read, so connect with us and we'll give you the Cliff Notes version.
Absolutely. All right, well, Vic, thank you so much for joining us today, sharing a little bit about your journey and just what it means to empower others and build that culture of growing and learning and challenging yourself. So guys, thank you for listening. As always, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode from me or any of our amazing hosts. And we're going to end like we always do. 2 cups on 2. 1, 2.